Levinson, managing partner with Levinson and Associates. And with us today, we have Joseph Loughran, our marketing vice president. And then we have our special guest speaker, who is our DI expert, Mr. Bob Herman, who's joining us in just a few minutes here. So we have some great stuff to touch on today. A few things I'll mention before we get started. We have a holiday tablet giveaway. This is the new Kindle Fire that just came out, and we will give this away and announce the winner after the presentation, so in about 45 minutes. And the winner will be the 100th registrant to today's presentation. Okay, so we'll announce that at the end of the call, and then we'll mail your Fire out as soon as we're done here. A few things also before we jump into the slides here. So, you know, the subject, as you can see at the top, is top disability sales ideas and products. If you're focused in on this part of the market or in this space, I'm sure you've heard about what happened. We used to use MetLife a lot with white-collar disability. So that product went away a couple months ago now. In fact, you probably heard about what's happening to their other products as well. It's a horrible story over there. But nonetheless, we have a direct IMO contract with Principal on the life and disability side. So as you know, Principal really excels. And in my opinion, they are the leader with white-collar DI, period. No one comes close. And I think after Bob dives in and shows you some of their neat product niches and gives you some sales ideas, that you will agree with us. So we have life and annuity agents that you know, that here and there they'll sell a white-collar DI product to you know, doctors or attorneys, whatever the case is, and do very well, and it's a nice supplement to their income. And then we have some agents who, in fact, one of them is on this call, who was big on the health side, and now he strictly focuses on disability, white-collar, blue-collar, and does very, very well. First-year commissions are great, and renewals are great. So a great way to supplement your income, no matter what side of the business you're on. Even if you've never written a DI case before, now is the time. And with Bob and Principal's tools, you will be a believer, and you'll understand exactly how to get your arms around this so you can feel comfortable when bringing up disability to your clients and prospects. So I think you're going to love what Bob has to offer. And just know, between Levinson and Principal, we have you covered in the white-collar DI market, 100%. You never have anything to worry about. Also, if you guys can just mute your phones before we get started, that would be great. Okay, so just a couple other things here. Is Principal is an A+ rated company, which is, especially in this day and age, very, very important. And Bob Herman is our white-collar DI expert. The reason why I say this, and I don't say it lightly, I've spoken and known Bob for a pretty long time now, and he's very, very impressive in this space. He's been doing this with Principal for just under 20 years. So he's a big believer in these products and Principal, and obviously in Levinson and our agents as well. So very excited about this presentation, because it's going to be a new take, and I know everybody will walk away with a sales idea that they can use this afternoon to supplement their income and become a DI white-collar expert, if you will. Okay, so moving to the second slide here, we'll jump right in. Real quick, speaking of holiday gifts, tablets, so what we're doing, we just launched our online level term lightning issue product. Very, very excited about this. The first and only level guaranteed term product that is sold online, 100% client driven. So what that means is you can literally get appointed. You get a link, you park it on your website, email blast it out, put it on your Facebook page. The whole point is drive traffic. A client simply clicks on your link, runs a quote, signs up online in less than 3 minutes. Policy gets mailed directly to the client, and they get a free scholarship. You do nothing. Great first-year commissions and renewals are double-digit in some cases. So great stuff with Lightning Term. If we're making it very simple, write one application, either the decreasing mortgage product or the level guaranteed product, and we will ship you a free Kindle Fire tablet just in time for Christmas, the holidays, and New Year's. Okay, so write one app, we'll mail you a free tablet. That simple. If you want to get up to speed with Lightning Term, you want to get your feet wet, just call any marketer here in our office, and we will gladly make sure that you're up and running and you have your own custom link so you could start driving traffic as soon as literally Thursday or Friday. Okay, so just let us know and we'll keep you posted on that. Okay, so the webinar agenda for today. So me and Joe are going to talk about some of Levinson's disability sales resources so you know where to go when you have that client that expresses interest. Also, we have our brand new CRM agency automator marketing tool. We have some new DI campaigns or e-blasts that we already have built in so you could start dripping on your prospects and clients today using our agency automator. And then last but not least, we're going to introduce Bob Herman, our disability expert. So great stuff to come. Take out a pen and paper. As always, jot down any questions, notes, comments, good and bad. We want to know everything. And then, of course, shoot us an email or call us after the presentation, and we will make sure that you are 100% comfortable with these DI products and Principal as a whole. And if we need to, we can get Bob involved too on a call or another webinar, whatever the case is. Okay, Joe's going to dive into some of the Levinson DI resources and show you where to go literally 24/7 through our website. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So real quick, these are a couple resources available when you log in to CareyLevinson.com. This, of course, is a back office website available for all active agents. You'll see here one section I wanted to highlight is actually underneath that main product tab. There is a drop-down. If you look, it says disability income. If you click on that tab, it'll actually give you all the material for every single one of our DI carriers. You're even going to see the sales material for clients. There's some great sales videos. And then specifically focusing on Principal, we've got some client letters, DI sales material. You can actually go and look at the product guides and the brochures for every single product that Bob's going to be covering today. Some great material. One thing I do want to mention is Principal's done a great job of putting together some collateral material to get your name in front of clients. And what I mean by that is actual letters and mailers and really scripts that you can actually use to get in front of people, let them know how important DI products are to their income. So great tools available. Also, right underneath that same CareyLevinson.com website, what I've done here is highlighted a section underneath the quotes tab. You'll see there's a disability quote request. You can actually click on that. Since our website has single sign-on, it already knows who you are as an agent. You can actually submit a DI quote request online in real time. What happens is that request actually gets sent right to our marketing team. We'll go through all those popular products and actually run those illustrations and send you all the material, the quotes, the applications, whether it's for an individual or if you're looking at business overhead or any of the products we're covering today. That's available right through CareyLevinson.com. Typically, we have same-day turnaround. As long as that quote is submitted by 4 p.m. Eastern, you will get that quote that same exact day. So definitely check out those resources. There's some great tools. And then we're going to actually roll into how you can use the Agency Automator platform as a great customer relationship management tool. And then we're going to talk about specifically how to use it to actually drum up some new disability income leads. So Agency Automator is a platform we've been developing for about the last year and a half. The whole point behind Agency Automator is to have a system that's actually going to help you manage your day-to-day prospects, activities, make sure that you're following up on your clients, your policies. So what this does is it actually puts everything in one spot for you, manages every single one of your clients, so you can actually see, Mr. Smith and what his policy number is, know when his birthday is, when the policy anniversary is, so that you can automatically follow up with that client and not miss any of those sales opportunities. So it's a great way to stay on top of every single one of your clients, every single one of your prospects. And what's so great about this tool is not only does it have the CRM side, but it also has another side, which is a prospecting tool. You can actually go into the system, pull from a database of about 28 million consumers and about 6 million business owners and actually specifically target market to any one of those groups and use about 250 plus ready-to-send email campaigns that actually a lot of them have follow-ups built into them. There is a set-it-and-forget-it campaign, so you can actually set up a series of emails on disability income and why it's so important. Hit the send button, and that client will actually receive a series of those emails on a specific date. The best part about the platform is you can actually track who opens the emails, who clicks on what links, and then actually target market that specific group. Bill's going to touch a little bit on some of the DI campaigns that are already inside the platform and how you can use those to specifically go after clients for disability income sales.
Yep. Thanks, Joe. So the whole point here, okay, you have your agency automator, and like Joe just said, you have, let's say, the left side, where that's going to be where you track and maintain your existing client database. Those are, let's say, clients you sold a policy to, and you need to know when their birthday, anniversary, policy anniversary is. That's a way that you're going to keep track of everything going on in your day-to-day business life, if you will. Then you have the right side. That's your prospecting tool. That's what Joe just spoke about. So this is where you're going to go in and you get 1,000 prospects every single month that you can market to. So now you have these 1,000 prospects and you need to send out material, okay? So today we're talking about disability. So what we are doing here is we pre-made disability e-blast that you can simply go in. If you look at the right side, it says who's going to pay your loan. That's a DI marketing piece from Principal. So that's already pre-made for you. You'll just go in, like you see on the top right side, you can have your picture, logo, contact information. You'll add it to the top. This way it looks nice and custom, and you can blast this out to all of those prospects that you actually put through a filter and said, all right, I want all young professionals between 35 and 45 making this much income in this zip code. Then you're going to send out a DI marketing piece to hopefully create a reply or an open. Then you're going to go after them and hopefully create the sale. So that's the name of the game. And then, you know, a year from now, you're going to have thousands and thousands of prospects that you're dripping on every month to keep your name of your company, and your picture in front of them. So when the time comes up for, let's say, disability, long-term care, life insurance, annuities, they're going to remember, hey, Bill Levinson is the one that's been dripping on me every single month. So this is the name of the game here, and we do it all for free, as you know, as long as you're active with us. So great stuff here. Okay, and once again, we have our live weekly training webinars just on Agency Automator. So if you really want to jump in, get your feet wet, you can go to our calendar on our website, and you can sign up for one of those webinars. Okay, without further ado, we're going to dive into our feature presentation here. And I'll just mention real quick that Bob Herman will also be live at our annual Agent Expo on March 31st. So you can meet him face-to-face and also learn about some more tips around Principal and their great DI products. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mr. Bob Herman from Principal Financial Group. Bob?
Thanks, Bill.
Yep, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited about the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with you today in regards to Principal's products that we have available. And I'll try to sprinkle in, as Bill had mentioned, some ideas along the way. I think that's one of the opportunities I look forward to most this spring, is the opportunity at the Agent Expo with Levinson and Associates to share specifically sales ideas in regards to our marketplace. As Bill had mentioned, I've been marketing disability insurance with Principal for the last 20 years. I've been in this business for the last 25 years with Provident Life and Accident prior to that. So I would tell you that I've seen quite a bit, but more importantly, there's a few things that haven't changed over that time frame. Number one, in regards to the prospects or the opportunities in the marketplace, there's so few agents and advisors, and we see it more, or I should say less and less today, that so few agents bring this topic up with their clients. There's tremendous opportunity in the marketplace simply from the standpoint that we've got this millennial generation that's coming into the workforce. I think they say there's like something to the tune of 156 million people in the working population. We all have a tendency in the disability marketplace to gravitate towards physicians in the medical marketplace, but that only represents about 1 million of those 156 million. There's a whole lot of people that can use our help. So I hope with the information that you'll have today, it'll give you a little more idea of what we can provide for you, for your clients, and more importantly, a building block for your disability business. I think, first of all, in regards to the products that Principal has available, we kind of break them up into two different segments, the personal marketplace and then the business marketplace. In that personal marketplace, we typically find our individual product, income protection, and that's where we spend most of our time. We see a tremendous amount of opportunity there, just focusing on some of those simple concepts. The other product that we have is a pension completion product. We call it our DI Retirement Security. In the event that one of our clients were to become sick or hurt, it's tough enough meeting the obligations they're faced with, but now how are you going to continue to save for retirement? In the business marketplace, we'll address these 4 policies that we have available. We have to also make sure they're approved in certain states. I'll kind of fill that in as we go along here, but our overhead expense policy, we have a business loan protection product. Bill had referenced that in one of those marketing pieces, which is a pretty neat concept in regards to the capabilities that you guys have access to, marketing specific ideas to specific people. Our key person policy, and then our disability buyout product. In that first product line, individual disability insurance, I always say there's 2 things that most good producers have when it comes to selling disability insurance. There's 2 common traits they have. Number 1, they have a high degree of confidence in regards to the products that they sell. That confidence comes from their knowledge. They understand the product. They get in front of a client. They're not worried about any questions that may come their way. They got a tremendous sense of confidence in regards to what they sell. And I'm sure many of you on the phone have certain areas that you are very strong. Life insurance needs, investment needs, whatever it might be, retirement planning, business succession, estate planning. The thing I can tell you is disability insurance is not a complicated sale. You can make it as complicated as you want, or you can keep it as simple as you want. I would tell you that you're going to have your most success if you can keep it as simple as you can. And I think one of the nice tools that you have is the resource of Levinson and Associates. You don't have to necessarily have all this knowledge from the get-go. You can lean on those guys to include ourselves at the Principal to kind of get you through initially. And once you feel comfortable, you'll find more and more of those opportunities. So that's one trait. The other trait is the conviction. The conviction that each and every one of your clients needs this product in their portfolio. I can't stress it enough. Your conviction, I can't give you in a marketing piece, and I can't give it to you today on a conference call. It comes from your experiences in life. It comes from your heart, your belief, and that comes through to your client. So if I can stress anything, you can't make it up either. You got to kind of develop it over time. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes it comes down to some real tough experiences that we all face, whether it's in our business, personal relationships that we see or come across that have an impact, a lasting impact with the way we operate our business. But again, in regards to our individual product, we want to make sure that our clients have the ability to maintain their lifestyle, to meet the obligations they're faced with. And I always say it's 3 simple questions when you're talking to a client. Number 1, why'd you go to work today? Ask them that simple question. Typically, most people are going to tell you that the reason I went to work is because I need the money, Bob. Second, if you were to become sick or hurt yesterday and you couldn't work for the next 6 months, the next year, what's your plan B? How do you meet the obligations that you're faced with? And then the third question for any of the advisors is to find out what they have in place. So what benefits that you have? Do you have something through your employer? Do you have an individual policy now? Do you have something through an association plan or something along that line? So we do want to uncover if they have any other forms of income protection in place. And again, some of this stuff is not very exciting material, but it gives you an overview of where we can and can't help. In regards to our issue ages with our product, 18 to 60 is for our individual cases or single life cases. When we have multi-life cases in our world, we refer to 3 or more lives at a common employer is what we reference a multi-life case. And our issue ages jump to 18 to 64. Just keep that in mind. We have some of our clients, unfortunately today, that you think they don't need this stuff anymore, but we have quite a few that are still interested in protecting their income at later ages in life. Occupation classes, we go from a 6A class all the way to an A. And if you see 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, and A, we have a few of them that are designated with M, and that M is simply our medical marketplace. The rates in regards to our products, obviously if you're a 6A, that's our best occupation class. Those are our most liberal definitions, best rates that are on in the marketplace. Those are occupations like an attorney, CPA, corporate executives, optometrists, pharmacists, places we have pretty good, we consider good risks. As you move down the ladder, there's a little bit more activity taking place as far as claims are concerned. So at the 5As and 5A or 4AMs, we see a lot of our medical marketplace. 3As is also in there, but anything from a 3A on up is what we refer to as the white-collar professional marketplace with the principal. Contracts, features, or all of those things are pretty similar across the board from 3A to 6A, just the rates are changing. 2A and A, you get a little more restrictive in regards to the contract language, features, things of that nature. That's more of our blue-gray collar marketplace. Elimination periods run anywhere from 30 days to 1 year. I would tell you our most cost-effective plan that we sell is our 90-day elimination period. It's the one that goes out the door 90% of the time, probably higher than that. Benefit periods run in 2 years all the way to the age of 70. Again, to age 65 seems to be a typical plan design, 90-day to age 65. An interesting thing, years ago I always used to believe that, tell a client, get as much as you can, get it as soon as you can, don't worry so much about how long it lasts. And I have changed my tune over time just for the claims experience that we see at the principal. I would tell you this, the majority of the claims that we have currently on the books have been on the books longer than 5 years. That's a significant number. So it's, again, that to age 65 is a meaningful benefit period. We do protect clients in their occupations all the way to the end of the benefit periods. I can explain a little bit further on that as we go along. And then I'll get into also issue limits that we have. There's kind of a little bit of breakdown between occupation classes. In regards to our product, there's a couple of different riders that come with the policy. When you call the Levinson Group and get illustrations or quotes for your clients, you're going to find a lot of no-cost riders on the policies. And one of the things that I think we have to remember or remind ourselves is there's 2 things that we're trying to accomplish when we're selling income protection. Number 1, obviously, we're trying to protect our clients' income, protect their family. In the event they become sick or hurt, we've got to have some money coming in the door to meet their obligations. But the second part of it, and the most important part, is that we're locking up their insurability. We're giving these folks the right to never have to arm wrestle with an underwriter again. We want to do it one time and be done. And for many of you that may be on the call that have experienced the tough underwriting in regards to a case, it just validates the reason why we need to get in front of our clients sooner and buy something. I don't care what you buy something, because you're going to make a difference in people's lives. If they bought $1,000 a month of benefit, you're giving that client an opportunity in the future to increase that policy every year by $500 at the principal. That's pretty cool. When I always say when our clients want it the most is usually when they can't get it. So if you get that client a small policy today because they can at least afford it, get them started, get them as a client, now you have the ability to increase that thing down the road. And anytime we can pick up the phone on an annual basis, reach out to our clients, it's a great opportunity in our world. Whether it's increasing a disability policy or it's a conversation because a brother-in-law moved into town and they need your help too, there's opportunities for growing your business, referrals, things of that nature. But in regards to the no-cost riders, there's 2 future purchase options that come with Principal's contract: benefit update and future benefit increase. It allows our client, and I'll just kind of summarize, 5 ways they can increase their policy benefits going forward. With future benefit increase, they could increase an automatically each year for the first 6 years of the policy by a minimum of 4%. Or they can buy as much as $500 each year. Benefit update allows a client to increase their policy every 3rd year of the policy all the way through the age of 58 with no restrictions or limitations in regards to how much they can buy. It's always based upon their our issue of participation limits based on their income. But they also have 2 special option dates. If they have a 20% increase in income, they can call up one of those exercise dates, or if they lose their group insurance, if they had group insurance and they leave the company and they go out on their own, or they go to another company that doesn't have or provide benefits, they have the ability to ratchet up these benefits with no medical underwriting. So again, protecting our clients' insurability, I hope that resonates with you folks on the phone. It's an important thing that we're trying to do for our clients, protect their income and their insurability. 2 other things in regards to the no-cost riders. We have a capital sum benefit that comes with the policy and the supplemental health benefit rider. There are additional benefits that are paid on top of the base benefit. Capital sum benefit, I'll get to that maybe in a little bit. I think we've got a slide in regards to both of those features, so I won't spend too much time on it now. And then your cost riders. I would tell you that most often the residual and recovery benefit is what we put on most contracts. Years ago, these products were all bundled, and residual and recovery were seen to be part of every contract that was sold. And it seems as time has gone on, each and every carrier in the marketplace has unbundled the product and given the client more choices. It's good and it's bad. It's good in the fact that obviously we give our clients choices. Sometimes we may not put these features on the policy where they should be included. So I'm a big fan of residual recovery. And then you've got your future purchase options that are free. That's a strong contract all by itself. Now you can enhance definitions of disability by putting a regular occupation rider on there or transitional. I'll get into that a little bit. But then the only other thing that we typically add is that cost of living adjustment. Those are adjustments once the client goes on claim. So they start to adjust the benefit for inflation. And then we also have a catastrophic benefit that I'll address. But again, I just real quick, there's 3 objections that we typically hear from our clients in regards to purchasing income protection. Number 1, many people don't think it's going to happen to them. So we've got to have a way to handle those objections. And certainly you can share statistics with people, but I don't know if necessarily people buy into it. It's personal experience, it's stories that move this product. It's an emotional sale, so share stories. You know, somebody thinks they're never going to be disabled, tell them to meet you down at the local hospital, and let's go to the admissions department and sit there and we'll have them share a cup of coffee and see each person that walks in whether they wish they had some of this stuff in force. Number 2 is objection that we hear is they say it costs too much. And I think that's an objection that we can always overcome because you can tailor a product to make it affordable as you want. Our job isn't put a client in a financial situation that's worse. We want to make it better. So get something, put it in force, make it affordable. Now you can ramp this thing up in the future going forward. And that's why I say when you put all these other riders on there, be careful because you have a tendency to drive that cost up. And again, I'm kind of a meat and potatoes guy. Total residual recovery, future purchase options, I'm a big fan of. Start there. And then the last objection we hear is typically when they say, oh, I've got something through my employer. Again, when you hear that, hopefully you're taking the time to find out what they have and then educate your clients in regards to how it works. Real quick, in regards to that last one, though, when we hear that objection, I've got something through my employer, ask them one simple question. You know, I got 60% of my income. Before they even get into that, just say, if you were to become sick or hurt yesterday, how much of your income would you like to continue? I can guarantee I ask this question all the time, and almost every person I talk to says, all of it. I'd love to have all of it continue. Well, let me educate you in regards to how your group insurance works, and then you can take the time to show them, and then why you can supplement or how you can supplement with an individual policy. We have a number of discounts that are available at the Principal. The two that I would focus on most often are our multi-life discount. We have a 20% discount based off of our unisex rates when we have 3 or more lives at a common employer. We're always trying to implement this discount. When you get an illustration or a quote from the Levinson Group, you're going to find that they may tag along with the individual illustration or multi-life rate. Again, if Principal wanted to, they could have just priced these products at this discounted rate. The purpose of the discount is for you as an agent or an advisor as a prospecting tool. It gives you the opportunity to get in front of more people. So always be looking, searching, finding ways to utilize that multi-life discount. It gives you an opportunity to get in front of more people, number one, but also it's a recurring source of prospects or revenue. If you get involved in a case like that, they're going to add new employees and so forth, add people to the group. It's something that you always want to pay attention to. As I mentioned, that discount comes into play if you've got an employer-employee relationship. In today's world, we see a lot of independent contractors coming into play. Independent contractors, especially in the, we see it in the IT world, 1099, what have you. We now have an affiliation discount for a lot of those employees where they're 1099 independent contractors. Same thing, you can establish 3 or more lives and drive a 10% discount from that. These are sex distinct rates, so 10% from the male or female rate. I mentioned issue and participation limits earlier. We'd love to see everybody selling $20,000 a month policies, but that's typically not the case. In our white-collar marketplace, 3A through 6A, our issue limits are $20,000 a month. That's what Principal would issue. We will participate with other individual coverage up to $35,000 a month, whether it's individual or group. So if you have a client, high wage earner that may have a policy through the employer, you can supplement that group plan based on our participation limits up to, with a combination, up to $35,000 a month. And those numbers have changed a great deal over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. It wasn't too long ago, we've seen them capped out at 20, 25 grand. So certainly some opportunities there. Always be asking about what other coverage they have in force, find out what's available. In the medical marketplace, we've got kind of 2 different limits. We've got our non-invasive, which is our 5 AMs, and then our invasives, 4 AMs. We'll issue up to 17 grand a month and participate with individual coverage to 25, with group to 35. And then our 3 AMs are we have 2 folks in the medical marketplace there, our anesthesiologists and our ER physicians that are issued at 15 or capped at 15, and then 25 and 35 also. I mentioned that benefit update rider. This is just a kind of a summary. In order to get the rider on the policy, it comes free, it comes with the contract. The client's just got to buy 75% of what they're eligible for. So if I'm eligible for 4 grand a month, I got to buy at least 3 grand a month in order to get this feature on the policy. And then I have the ability at every 3rd anniversary of the policy through the age, I say 58 because if we'll issue it through age 55, it's available through issue ages of 55, so they'd have one option at 58. So they have the ability to increase that benefit without any medical underwriting. It's a terrific rider. Again, it's something that you've got to pay attention to, though. You want to make sure you're following up with your clients in regards to this opportunity. The catastrophic benefit is a rider that Unum had developed many years ago, and it was kind of had some marketing appeal because a lot of the way they illustrate it is that you can get up to 100% of your income protected. Certainly with our individual income protection traditional products, we can protect about 2/3, 60% of somebody's income. How we get into 100%? Well, this rider was developed, and it just simply said it's more restrictive of a definition. So if it's more catastrophic, and they said, hey, if a client can't perform 2 activities of daily living, they have cognitive impairment, or they have a presumptive claim, which is the loss of use of 2 legs, 2 arms, 1 arm and a leg, or sight, hearing, or speech, we would pay this catastrophic benefit in addition to the monthly benefit. So it's not triggered on the same definition of our base contract, but again, We've got a lot of producers that use it. Catastrophic events that are some clients are most concerned with, and it's not very pricey. It's actually very inexpensive, that rider. I mentioned the cost of living benefit. Everybody, I would say you've all got to develop your own opinions and beliefs in regards to what riders are important for a client. I've never been a big fan of showing cost of living, unless you've got somebody that's fairly young, but cost of living is an expensive rider. You put it on the policy, and again, all you're doing is driving the cost of that thing up. I would say, if anything, bring another illustration that may have it as a secondary option for these clients. But especially when you get up into those later ages, I wouldn't be sharing it with anybody that's over age 50. It seems kind of, they're not going to see a lot of adjustments in those benefits. Supplemental health benefit is something I mentioned earlier. Again, this is a no-cost rider on the principal contract, and we pay 6 months of the benefit in a lump sum in addition to the monthly benefit if a client has coronary bypass surgeries, cancer, or stroke. We've paid a number of these claims, and I would tell you that most of them have been from cancer. So we've had again, it's a neat little rider, but somebody gets, a check for $30,000 in a lump sum, they had a $5,000 benefit. It's a meaningful benefit to people. I mentioned earlier that in our marketplace that we tend to focus in that white-collar marketplace. There's an area that we don't want to overlook, and the folks at Levinson & Associates will help you with this. We have a core value product, and I say it's not really a product, it's more of a plan design. It's designed for our 2A occupation. So what we typically would find is our blue-collar marketplace. And what we do is we give them a 3A rate, 3A premium. So the rate is very competitive, especially when we see folks in that marketplace like Illinois Mutual, Assurity, or Mutual of Omaha. Typically they're showing a guaranteed renewable contract. Principal's still showing a non-can guaranteed renewable. So we have a guaranteed premium to the age of 65. They just, in regards to the plan design though, you don't have a lot of choices. 60-day or 90-day elimination period, benefit periods to 65 or 5 years. It's going to work with a lot of people. The maximum benefit you can get is $4,100 a month. You can only get 50% of your income. They only give you a future benefit increase. But again, we have a product in some cases I think that's designed for the medical marketplace, and we try to jam it down everybody's throat. This is a product, again, where we'll make a big difference in somebody's lives for them to get a check for a couple of grand a month during a tough time. And I don't think there's anybody on the line that would disagree that if any of our clients got a check for $2,000, chances are they wouldn't send it back. They'd cash that check. So just kind of keep that in mind as options for you. I mentioned also we have this DI retirement security product. It's designed primarily for folks that, how do you say, it's tough enough if you were to become sick or hurt to meet the obligations and so forth. How do they say, it's tough enough to live to 100% of your income, try living on 60% of your income, and now continue to save for retirement. So we do find opportunities more so with the highly compensated folks. They're looking for ways to, again, protect those contributions, whether it's to a 401k or what have you. But these benefits are not paid. They're paid to a trust on behalf of the client. There's not a lot of bells and whistles to it. It's a total-only contract. We do give the client the right to increase the policy in the future with future purchase options. But again, we have in certain areas, as an example, when you are working with a lot of law firms, especially if they're partners, they may have group insurance as tax-free benefits. You don't find a lot of room to add anything individual to it. So the question is, hey, Joe, if you were to become sick or hurt, how are you going to continue to save for retirement? This gives you an opportunity to do that, and maybe more importantly, offer this on a voluntary basis to a law firm. And you might have the opportunity to speak to 25, 30, 40 attorneys. And I'm sure even if they weren't interested in this particular product, there might be some other areas you can help them with. I hate to be get through this so quick, but there are a few things I just want to at least go over. The other product that we have is our overhead expense policy. It's designed more for our small business owner, designed for the business owner, is the one that's really driving the revenue for that business. You know, if that owner were to go down, it's going to have an impact. You know, how do we meet the rent, the utilities, the salaries of some of our employees? We just want to make sure that either, number one, they're protecting their obligations at home, but if they're a small business owner too, we want to make sure they're protecting those obligations. So if in fact they can come back, they've got something to come back to. Overhead expense has always been a pretty cool product from the standpoint that there are some nice features to it. It's tax deductible for a business owner. And I think the other thing I see a number of producers that I've worked with is educate attorneys and CPAs in regards to this product. Again, it's a reimbursement product, and if you were to talk to a CPA who's doing the books, the payroll, taxes for any company, if you have the owner go down, what are the chances that you continue to get paid for your services? And again, this product has a built-in feature that allows, if during the termination of a business, that they can reimburse their, outside of the benefit amounts, reimburse their attorney or CPA up to $3,000. So I don't want to say appeal to greed, but there is some skin in the game that some of these professionals have working with their clients. So just educate in regards to how it works, and you might find some opportunities in regards to the overhead expense product. There's not a lot of bells and whistles to it. Again, it's, you know, all that we're trying to do is cover the basics. And I would tell you that most often, in regards to quoting this stuff, you know, you can apply this to our individual product too. You can get $1,000 a month with a plan design, 90 days, 65, I'm sorry, in this case, 30 days, typically 60, 90-day elimination period, and a 12-month benefit is what we typically find. Run it for $1,000 a month. And if the client, you go out and see the client, and he says, how many of these units would you like if you were to become sick or hurt? The guy might say, well, gee whiz, I mean, I could use 5 of those. All you need to do is multiply that $1,000 illustration by 5, and you've got the premium right on the head, because our rates are linear. It doesn't, there's no price breaks if you buy more or anything along that line. So multiply, divide, whatever you want to do. I think it's an easy way to illustrate in regards to the cost mechanism of this product. Most of our discounts are still applicable to this. I mentioned earlier our multi-life discount, and I may wait a minute in regards to bringing this up, but it is applicable to our overhead policy too. But our business products, it's a true 20% off of a male or female rate. It does not go to a unisex rate. So typically we find a lot of men in this marketplace, whether it's our buyout product or overhead expense, and it's a true 20 off that male rate. It's a significant savings. One of the other riders that's on this policy and can be sold as a standalone is the loan protection product. This is a product that was developed a couple of years back, and again, for many years, if a business owner took on an obligation, and let's just say he was either acquiring a business, or maybe he bought a new building or brought in some equipment and took on an obligation, and he's got to pay this thing back over the next 7 years, the next 10 years, or whatever, this loan. Typically in the past, we would use our overhead expense policy to cover that obligation. But the problem is it only covered it for the benefit period, which was in most cases 12 or 24 months. With our business loan protection product, you can cover the principal and interest payment of that obligation. And it can be sold as a standalone product. They don't have to buy overhead expense to get it. Again, something that you could share with, if you've got local banks in the community, I would say we've had more success with that, educating in regards to this product being available. Many of them don't even know it's available. So if you're setting up centers of influence, not a bad idea to share something like that with some folks. Again, these are just some parameters in regards to it. In regards to the loan obligations, we won't insure more than $20,000 a month and a maximum benefit of $2 million loan. Key person is another product that we have available in the business marketplace, but it's not approved in the state of Florida. So hopefully there's some folks on the line that may be outside of the state of Florida. I love this product. We have had so much success with this thing. Most of our agents have been pretty creative with it, but it allows a business owner to create, or more importantly, protect one of the key individuals in their organization, whether it's the office manager, as simple as that, or a key sales guy, or the IT guy. If that individual were to become sick or hurt, we would provide at the end of 6 months, elimination period is typical plan design, we would provide up to 3 times that individual's salary, not to exceed $750,000. So let's just say we've got an IT guy that we're paying $120,000 to, and you can insure him up to $360,000. That money would go directly to the employer, that $360,000, if that individual were to become sick or hurt, and they get to decide what they want to do with that money. I would tell you that a couple of places that we've used it. First of all, in regards to the key person, when we're trying to, I mentioned earlier, we're always looking at trying to establish that multi-life discount. And you can use this in the company. Let's say you've got 2 owners, or you got 2 people that are interested in protecting their income, and they buy a disability plan. And the owners, you're looking to find a third life. The owners can actually buy a policy on somebody within their organization. Now you've got the third life. It counts as a third life. And in the past, we would write a small policy on that individual. Maybe it was the office manager, maybe it was a key employee, but the employee gets the benefit. In this case, not only can the employer save premium dollars and get the discount, but if that individual becomes sick or hurt, they're going to reap the rewards of that thing. We've also seen the key person policy utilized in kind of the buy-sell, as a buy-sell mechanism. We did a buy-sell, or I should say worked on a CPA firm, and they had approximately 17 CPAs in the firm, and they put a key person policy on each one of these for $500,000, and they used that as a buyout mechanism. If any of them were to become sick or hurt for a period of 6 months, they'd give them the $500,000 and buy out their share. So there's a lot of cool ideas that you can use with the key person. Our buyout product, I'm going to come back to in regards to in regards to the services that we have. I want to mention this. At Levinson Associates, for any of the advisors that work through them, they have access to 2 of our complementary services that we have at the principal. One of them is an informal business valuation that we'll do for a small business. It's a great tool. Again, all that we need from the principal standpoint is 3 years of corporate returns, a current P&L and a balance sheet. There's a bit of a question, I call it request for proposal. There's information that we'll need on the employer. It's typically how many owners are there, what's the percentage of ownership, how are they incorporated, that type of information. And we'll put together this valuation. It'll have a book value and then 4 other capitalization formulas. Many business owners have no idea what their business is worth. More importantly, they don't want to spend the money to find it out. This complimentary service has been a great tool because it gives the client a great idea. It's a very professional piece. It's something the principal does in-house. And more importantly, there's topics that come with the valuation, making sure they address specific areas. One of the advisors I used to work with sold primarily health insurance, and he used this valuation, the complementary valuation, for all of his clients when Obamacare started coming out, because he felt like he had needed to diversify his business. So he went back to all of his clients, and he did these valuations, and he had like 126 different groups on the books. And he told me, Bob, he said, all it did was it created dialogue. It started a dialogue. I don't know where it took me, but it opened up doors and opportunities. So it's a wonderful piece. Going back to our buyout product, we, as the principal, have a disability buyout product. Certainly in the event that you've got a couple of owners, right, they have a buy-sell agreement in place. If one of them were to become sick or hurt, how is that thing funded in regards to buying out their shares? We have a product, a funding mechanism that allows them to do that. The challenge that we typically have in regards to the sale is the valuation. You ask a business owner, what's your company worth? And they throw out a number, $3 million. So our advisors put together illustrations and quotes, and they go back and they sell the case. And now we're just starting. We're going to put that. We're going to start the underwriting process, and it's going to go in front of an underwriter, and they're going to do an evaluation to determine what the company is worth. And they come back and they say, we don't think it's worth $3 million. We think it's worth $1.5 million. Now you're reselling the case. Do the valuation up front. Our underwriters will honor the valuation. You know your financial underwriting is done. It's a great piece. Again, it's created an enormous amount of opportunities for us in this marketplace. I would strongly encourage you to utilize those services. But the other service that was on there too was that buy-sell agreement. So if they do have a buy-sell agreement in place, we'll review that document and summarize and make suggestions on any buy-sell agreements that may be in place. Again, a nice tool, because for most business owners, if they have a buy-sell agreement in place, typically they put it together and then they threw it in the bottom of a drawer and haven't looked at it for 5 or 6 years. It's always good to just refresh, update it, make sure they're doing what they expect it to do. So again, 2 great tools that may open up some opportunities in that business marketplace. All right, I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to kind of wrap as much of this up as I can. In regards to our multi-life opportunities, 3 or more lives, we do have some underwriting programs that are available. Anywhere from fully underwritten to standard issue, guaranteed standard issue. I would tell you that our standard issue typically starts at around 10 lives, but we get offers at 6 or 7 lives. It depends on the group. So I would tell you to work with Levinson Associates. You know, ask them the questions. Don't make any assumptions, because there might be opportunities that we can get some offers in those areas. If the demographics are good, if the spread of risk is good, the spread of benefits are good, the chances are we can make an offer on a case like that. But we also have our Simplified platform. And Simplified is something that I speak of quite often. Simplified simply says that if we have a client between the age of, first of all, on a single life we can do this. If we have a client between the age of 18 and 50 that's buying $4,000 of benefit or less, all that we're using is a telephone interview. No blood, no urine, no financial documentation, assuming that they're making less than 150 grand. When we have our multi-life Simplified, it goes 18 to 64 years of age instead of 18 to 50, and it goes up to $6,000 a month instead of $4,000. So you can capture a whole lot of people, and the best place for it is that when you run into a situation where an employer has some group benefits in place, and they may want to look at something on a voluntary basis for the employees that are there to supplement their group plan, but you can go in and make this offer to, you know, there was a case that we worked on that, I don't know, I think 110 employees. They had 2 locations, and they were all IT guys. They had a group plan that was in place. But if you can sit down with 110 employees that were all making in excess of $80,000 a year, and give them the opportunity to buy a per individual policy and not have to chase after all this stuff in regards to blood, urine, financial documentation, you can move product quickly. Plus, the benefit for the client, too, is they still get all of the features, riders, contracts the same, future purchase options. I'm a big fan of the Simplified. And then the last one is we do have this fallback option that we use quite often in regards to maybe we have a group that, you know, has 8 or 10 people within there that are looking for some guarantee issue, or the employer is willing to write a check. Well, if we get an offer for $4,000 or $5,000 a guarantee issue, you may have some employees that are eligible for 12 grand a month, or 15 grand a month, or, you know, 8 grand, more than the guarantee issue amount. What we strongly suggest is go ahead and apply. When you apply for it, in the worst case scenario is the client's going to at least get the guarantee issue amount. Best case scenario, they may get the benefit that they're eligible for, and more importantly, they got the future purchase options. And more importantly for you, we pay full comp on anything that's fully underwritten. The only thing that we don't pay is when we use the GSI offer, and then it's just anytime there's guarantee issue involved, the commissions fall back 5 points. So just a couple of quick ideas. I'm going to kind of wrap this thing up in regards, we talked a little bit about the simplifying. I know it was kind of thrown a lot at you today. More of it is, I talked with Joe before, is just, this is our initial entree and the folks that work with Levinson Associates. And I'm a big fan of sales ideas. I think that's what moves this product. It's not the product information, but we did have to at least roll out what's available for you folks, and that's what we tried to do today. But understand that in the disability marketplace, if you can go into a marketplace that has virtually endless amount of prospects, there's no competition, and the commissions are strong, why wouldn't you go into that market? And again, there's very few agents that are bringing this subject up. We see in the market or industry too, there's a stronger inclination for specialization. Hold yourself out as an income protection specialist. Hook yourself up to a P&C shop or something along that line, a group benefit shop, and you'll find maybe you can create some opportunities with even your counterparts. I appreciate the time today. Any questions?
Yeah, Bob, actually we have a closed line, but what we'll do is anything that comes in after the call, we'll get a hold of you if we can't answer.
Okay. Okay.
So just want to say thank you. Great job, Bob. We appreciate that. Great stuff there. We're also going to send out an email to everybody that was on the call with some further information and some different marketing pieces that Bob went over. And like he said, this is the first of many trainings that you're going to hear on the webinar, and then of course we'll do live in March at our expo. So more to come, and I think the biggest thing is just bring up the topic. You know, ask your clients and prospects, hey, do you have a disability policy, or have you thought about this if this were to happen? So just a perfect time to bring it up, and then we have those marketing pieces that you can drip on your prospects and clients to get the conversation started. So great stuff. Joe is going to just touch on our upcoming agent training events, and then we're going to just show you quickly our Levinson Expo, announce the winner, and close the call. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So I've got, of course, everything you can register for the training events right on CarrieLevinson.com, right on the dashboard of the homepage. Some upcoming calls on the 17th of January at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going over an annuity training call with Global Atlantic. We're going to talk about the sweet spots of those annuity products. And then the following day, Wednesday the 18th at 3:30 p.m., we're going over Agency Automator and a little bit more in-depth to show you some exact examples of how agents are using that tool to find new prospects, find new leads, and make more sales. And then keep in mind, every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m., we do have a training for the Agency Automator platform where you can actually ask questions in a live forum and get those questions answered, and how best to use that automator to generate new sales and new leads.
Okay, thanks, Joe. And again, our annual Agent Expo in South Florida for 2017, March 31st, so write down that date. Bob will also be there live. We're going to bring in all of our top carriers from around the country, our underwriters, VPs. It's a day full of new sales ideas. So if you're experienced, a veteran-type agent, great. If you're brand new in the industry, even better. We're going to have various technology programmers there that help develop some of our tools. We're going to have a Tony Robbins keynote motivational speaker. At the end of the day, we bring in breakfast, lunch, snacks throughout the day. I promise you, this will be a day you will not forget, you do not want to miss. Qualification. Now, this is free for everybody, but if you want to qualify for round-trip airfare, if you want to stay the weekend at our beachfront resort and have Levinson pay for everything, qualifications are starting at just $15,000 of paid premium. So you have a couple of more months to qualify, but get that premium in, and we will make sure that you have a nice vacation on us, and we'll fly you in from anywhere around the country. So start the qualification now, and again, 3/31/2017. Don't forget that date. Okay, we're going to end with this. I know we're running a little late on time here. As you know, I'm a big motivational guru, and I think that it's so important for us to stay in that right mindset day in and day out. So whatever it is that might work for you, great, as long as you're going in the right direction. Okay, and I think this is important to always know we're not going to be perfect. It's just bringing a little bit to the table every single day that's going to help you in your personal world and in your business world. And, you know, stay in tune to these webinars. Listen to some of our sales ideas, new products. Some you're going to use, maybe some you won't. Some might change your business for the better, but you have to keep your ears open and take it in. I'm going to end with this, and then I'll announce the tablet winner. It's not about perfect. It's about effort. And when you bring that effort every single day, that's where transformation happens. That's how change occurs. I love that, and I think it's just so true. Again, stay in that mindset day in and day out. Okay.